And we are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on Dan-A-Plooza this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the previous interview with Lady J Cosplay. My guest at this time is returning guest from Dan-A-Plooza all the way back from July 2021. Let's give a big round of applause virtually for now or when you watch at a later date to Cole K. Phoenix.
Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Thank you, Cole, for returning to the show. We always enjoy having you here. For those watching right now, you can see Cole. He has performed with the Ignite Entertainment variety show. You can follow their Facebook page. Cole is a burlesque performer and dancer. He is also part of the Quantum Quaternary. You can see that you can follow that. He's a paranormal investigator, empath, and medium. And he is also the owner of Phoenix Fire. Is it Apothecary? Apothecary and Magical Art. So make sure to follow all those things on Facebook. You can probably also follow him on Instagram as well.
Yep, it's all Instagram, Twitter. I mean, we're everywhere. So, I mean, I'm everywhere. It's all over the place. It's all, under all the same name. So it's not hard to find me.
And that is the plug segment. And also for those watching, keep following Dan-A-Plooza Facebook page or the YouTube channel, Dan the Man Vids. All right, let's get to some questions. So as a performer, and we were just talking before we went on the air, how relieved are you right now that now we're going to be back to the live shows, the audience participation and being able to feel the feedback from the crowds?
That's one thing that's amazing about doing live performances is because if you're getting that energy from the crowd and they're enjoying every little bit and every little detail of what you're doing, like that just gives you, I don't know. I used to get so nervous going out on stage because granted, I'm started doing this in my 30s. Like I never really was out on stage. I did a few plays in high school, but I had those small parts where I was there for maybe like 5 minutes max. And just feeling that energy from the crowd is just it's just so amazing. It's just like everybody just wants you to feel it so that you can just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm so glad we're starting to get back to that. And I just love seeing people, and I love seeing their faces to where they're enjoying it. Like it's just amazing just to see people loving what you do. And it may not be a huge thing that you're doing either. You could just be doing a tiny little dance and someone's just amazed by it. And I just love that. Just absolutely love it.
Yep. And I think that is something that particularly as a fan and as watching, I love that you're always very much in the moment when you go on the stage to the off the stage. I could tell you're somebody who lives and breathes every second that you're on the stage.
It's a great feeling. It's something that was introduced to me. We've only been doing this for four years now, going on 4 years. Yeah. So like like I said, I've only done it for 4 years, and like it's been the greatest 4 years. Granted that the pandemic slowed a lot of things down, and I did have to do a lot of virtual performances, and not hearing an applause and not hearing someone like cheer. It's very strange, just very strange. And Patti LuPone put it very, very well when she did her concert. She sang this huge song, hitting every single note. And as soon as she stopped, just pure quiet, and she said, "And there it is, the sound of no applause." So, yeah, I'm just so ready to get that feeling of just hearing people just cheer. I'm just so ready for it.
And I've kind of missed that as somebody who has watched shows and as a fan, like I cheer, but it's like in characters, like cheer,
Yeah, right.
exclamation, exclamation, um, it doesn't feel the same because you're not like watching the movements closely, or because it's virtual it'll skip or
Right.
something like that. You don't feel as connected as you do when it's live.
Right. Definitely. Most definitely. And and I don't like watching myself like being recorded either. Like that's something I still haven't gotten used to yet. So
Right.
like I'll record things, but then I just don't watch them because I'm like I don't like watching myself, and I've heard so many people say that, and like I just don't watch it for some reason, and everybody's like, "Well, you're so amazing." I'm like, I know, but that's my insecurity about it. Like that's just my little bit. Like I do eventually watch little bits and pieces to pick up on some things to remember, but yeah, it's just something about watching myself. I don't. I just it's still strange to me.
Well, and I think sometimes it is strange when you watch yourself, because I mean I've watched tapes of myself, and sometimes I think it says people we are critical of. We're like, oh, why did I turn left instead of right? I'm the only one doing it. Everyone saw it.
Mhm.
But
Everybody.
I normally kind of like, I like to use it as a learning tool instead of, okay, well, or I did this, or I did this really well, or so I feel like sometimes it is, but what I usually do myself, or if I tell anybody else, is to normally not watch it like right then and there, like right after. Like let some time go, maybe watch it a week or 2 weeks later,
Exactly.
so that way it's not still, in your mind, and you can kind of relax and chill, so then that way you're
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, this is what it was, or it's not as big of a deal as I thought it would be.
Right. And like when in like group routines, like it's easy to watch those because then I don't pay attention to myself. Like I'll watch everybody else and like, oh, I did something wrong there. Oh, let's not pay attention to me. Like, but yeah, I mean, I'm getting better with it over time, and it's just a great thing. Like, it's just a learning experience. Like, just just gotta learn. It's a new
Yeah.
learning habit.
Yeah, you have to, especially because now a lot of things are digital and a lot of things are
Mhm.
upload, and like you have to kind of get used to that, especially because when kind of being a performer, you have to sometimes submit things, virtually. So you kind of
Right.
have to go with the grain and just see how things go. Oh,
Mhm.
and we have a comment right now. I'm going to go ahead and share this wonderful comment. I'm sorry to the person who posted this, because sometimes StreamYard doesn't show the name, but we're still going to show it. One of my favorite moments was his performance. He forgot that he even did the routine performer amnesia.
Well, I know who. Well, with the emojis that I see, I think I know who posted that. It's probably Jeffrey. It's Jeffrey or Haley Valhalia as her stage name. You've interviewed her before, right?
Yeah.
Have yeah, you've got a chance with her. Yeah, my first performance was at Vice Versa. Um, my first time actually being out in front of a crowd like that with that energy, and I remember walking through the doorway onto the stage and everyone lining up, getting ready for the song to come on, and that was it. That was completely it. Like total blackout. Wasn't sure if I even did anything or if what I was doing. And finally came to when the music went off and our MC was like cheering, getting me riled up because I think she knew like I was spaced out somewhere else. And she was trying to get the energy going. And like I went backstage and was like, did I do that? Did I do it right? Did everything go okay? Did that even happen? And like it
Yeah.
was like a total blackout. And even watching the video over and over again, like completely did the whole group routine with everyone and everything, but still to this day don't have a recollection at all of being on that stage the first time. So like yeah, that was like performer blackout first time.
Yeah, and it definitely is. I've I've done all kinds of different things, and so it was always a kind of a challenge, but a fun challenge. I remember just even doing like one of the first films that I ever did and trying to learn within the camera and everything like that. And like I would look and they'd be like, "Don't look at the camera." You'd be like, "Oh, I looked at the camera," you know.
That reminds me, like, we did a music video for After Atlas. They're out of Fairmont, West Virginia. We did choreograph. Jeffrey choreographed a total dance number routine for Deception, and that was that was the hardest thing. And like the director came in and he said, at all costs, try your best to not look at the camera. And sometimes I'm going to be about 2 inches away from you. That was the hardest thing ever because like he had to like redo a few, like at least the first 15 minutes because someone would just happen to like glance over from like halfway across the room. And he's like, well, you looked at the camera. So let's go back and do it again. Well, you looked at the camera this time. And we're like, we're sorry. It's just, we're not used to a camera in our face.
Yeah.
So yeah, you like it's just your brain's just like look at the camera, look at the camera.
Yeah. Like you try and cheat, like I didn't look. I looked over in there. You know?
Where'd he go? Where's the camera? Is it on?
Yeah, trying to like look at the corner of the eye.
He's like, yeah, you looked at the camera again. Sorry.
Tried to not. No, I didn't.
But that was another great time because we actually shot that in the old Moose Lodge there in Clarksburg next to the golf building. So it was the old upstairs, and you can actually look up After Atlas Deception on YouTube, and you can see all of us there. You'll see Jeffrey, you'll see me, you'll see Valhalla, all of them were all there, and that was another great time and having fun.
Yep.
Cole's fire performances are fantastic.
Thank you.
Sorry, didn't mean to steal your job there for a second. I just saw it pop up.
Oh yeah, I posted that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've always played with fire, even as a kid. Like I always somehow stole a lighter from, one of my aunts or uncles who smoked. And, I wasn't really like a pyro. I did like lighting like little mini campfires. Like I'd make little ones. And like the more I got older, like I'd start taking pictures of those, like in places like that Audra by the river and getting really good pictures of it and stuff. And then, coming into this and meeting the people that I did that was a fire performer, I had no idea what it was, and flow arts and all this stuff. Like, so I started with LED just to be safe, and just gradually within 2 or 3 months bought my first set of fans, and that's all she wrote. Like, and I absolutely love it. I love playing with fire. Like, and the one thing that you have to like really get over is you can't be afraid of it at all. Like, you cannot be afraid of that flame. Like, you're gonna get burned. I've caught on fire twice, unfortunately. I mean, it's gonna happen, but it's been nothing serious. A little burn on the arm here, a little burn on here, maybe in the neck a couple times. But it's just one thing that it's a constant learning experience, because like I still haven't learned everything that like, and everyone has their own style. So like you can learn this from this person and this from this person. And I get that a lot. They're like, your fire performing is a lot different than what I've seen. That's because I try to make a connection with whatever music is around me. Like, right. If it's something I can really get into, then I'll get on that beat, and things just happen. It just happens naturally. And I tell people this all the time. Like, what I'm doing right next to me, I don't see what everyone else sees. Like, if you see this amazing line and trails of stuff, I don't see that. I'm just going with the flow, with what my body is feeling, with the music, or even if there's no music, just go with whatever flow you can find. And that's my whole purpose of doing it, is just finding a flow and finding that balance of enjoying yourself and seeing that everyone else is enjoying it, and just going with it. And that's very freeing in a way, just to completely put on a performance and then like, oh, you liked it? I don't even know what I did, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you loved it. I'm glad you got to see whatever visual, whatever you got out of it. And that's the most amazing part about it for me, is that people enjoy it so much and they're so amazed by it. I'm still amazed by it. So I mean, I amaze myself sometimes when I watch back on certain videos and was like, wow, how did I do that? I didn't even know that looked like that. So I just absolutely love it. I fell in love with it, and I'm gonna continue doing it until my fingers fall off, my arm falls off, something. So
if they fall off, you can have Haley in the background. She'll just move it for you, and it'll look like they
right,
are.
just take it back and forth. I'll be good.
Just take it, yeah. Just weeble wobble. Yeah, I do always enjoy the fire performance. Me especially, like, I always feel like I would just like drop it or something like that, or
All that happens all the time. Like
yeah.
that's one thing that I try not to do. Like now in performances, like I felt like I had to like do this and do that and rush and do this real fast. No, like I've learned to take my time and pay attention to the movements that I do so that
Right.
I can, not catch on fire or create a different movement with the flames or something. So like I said, it's just a constant learning experience. And like I'm really hoping that like Fahrenheit, they have that in Elkin. It's a festival for fire
Okay.
performer, and you learn so much there. There's so many different performers there, and there's so much to learn. And Weebit was a teacher last year. He's part of Ignite as well. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like the way he practices. I wish I had his discipline in practicing and stuff because he's just so great. I've
Yeah.
learned so much from him.
I remember him with the balls and moving back and forward and everything with performances, and him with fire. So he has very superb focus, is what I could say from.
Yeah, he's very. I just wish I knew where he learned it from. Like, and I think it's just a natural thing for him that it's just he flows naturally. And
Yeah.
he's been doing it as a teenager. He started with a yo-yo. I mean, and now he works with like 20 different props, and it's crazy. I couldn't keep track.
And that's interesting to think, like a yo-yo, because think of
Hmm.
something very simplistic, to something more complicated.
Yeah, I can't even work a yo-yo. I mean,
I can do the walk the dog, but the baby thing, it's all going to get tangled up.
I can go up and down all day long, up and down, up and down. Like that's about it.
I could do a minute and then we're done.
Right?
um, so tell me about your love for the paranormal.
Um, that's still freshly new with me. Always knew that I had some kind of gift or feelings as a kid, but didn't
Mhm.
quite understand it. And that's another thing that has happened within like the last few years. Like fully embracing my gifts and you know being an empath for one. That takes a lot of work because you eventually learn to differentiate, like, am I mad or am I feeling someone else who's mad and
Yeah.
upset? And it's just a learning curve. And then being a medium on top of it, um mine's very visual. Like I'll get a lot of pictures of things, a lot of faces, a lot of places.
Is it kind of
You
like
know,
a premonition?
a little bit, but it's more like a past. It's more like this is what happened type thing. Like
Okay.
they're not. It's not very much like this is what's going on now, but we want to let you know. This is what happened. Try to, if they need help or if they're, a lot of spirits, a lot of energies are just curious because they're
Right.
not sure what exactly is going on. And like that makes me curious. And like being able to feel these energies and distinguish, what's bad, what's good, and just having a sense of also another learning curve of things. It makes it seem like, they just want help. They just want to figure out
Yeah.
what's
They're
going
lost.
on. And like I'm an instrument for that to help them either move on, finish whatever unfinished business. And my one favorite thing about doing the investigations, especially the tunnels here in West Virginia, like
Yeah.
alone from Salem to Parkersburg, there's like 10 tunnels that you can walk through, and a majority of them are haunted because on those railroads when they used to use them. A lot of people got hurt, and the famous one is the woman in white, and she does travel
Yeah.
from the Flinderation. Yeah, she travels from Flinderation. Also, the real name is Brandy Gap. A lot of people will know it by that.
Yeah.
Um, right there at Flinderation, and she travels clear to Happy Valley to Parkersburg. Like everyone has seen her clear through. They're like, "Oh no, she's here! Oh no, she's here!" I'm like, no, she's on that whole trail. I'm like, that's all
Yeah.
one property. I was like, that's one property. She can go wherever she likes on that property, and she does. She very much does. She's all. I've seen her at least 4 tunnels that I've been to. She has showed up. So, I love doing it. I love the weird things, the bumps that go in the night. Mothman. Tried hunting him. Bigfoot. I'm always out there I love nature, so I'm always seeing if I can run into him. And I love those odd things that a lot of people don't understand, but I feel like, with me being that instrument, that tool, I can help explain more. So that's where my experience is coming from, is that I'm here to help others, understand it more. If they're
Right.
interested in it, ask me anything, because, I've seen a lot, I've done a lot. Like, we've done a lot of investigations. I've seen and heard, and like, and sometimes, I used to be very skeptical at times. And, after being through it and learning through certain experiences, and, having evidence of things, it's just amazing that these two separate worlds, if you want to call it, can intertwine and do things for each other and help each other out. Like, because it's not just like me helping them. Like, they'll help others out, like, without you even knowing. Like, it's just one of those things that it's a great experience to learn from and go through and just have fun with it. Like, and that's the main thing. Just have fun with it. Like, don't be afraid. There's really nothing to be afraid of. Like, intentionally, there's no bad intentions from ghosts or whatever, so be it, you want to call them. And a lot of them just don't know what's going on, just like us.
Right.
Like, we don't know what's going on. So I'm here to help figure that out. So, it's just, I just love learning about it. And, it's an amazing thing to even help that type of person as well. Like, if I can help someone move on, I'm going to help them move on. So, it's just a great thing that I'm also experiencing. So, I absolutely love it. Just love it.
I think it's a great way for you to kind of connect
Hmm.
with the spirit. You're uh, kind of like a central hub, or like a kind of like a phone line, or some way of connection where you can facilitate maybe some of the way that they're feeling, and you can kind
Hmm.
of reach back and be that output, so that way they can kind of maybe find that closure that maybe it is so
Hmm.
longing for, that the rest of us can't see, or not even
Right.
aware of.
Definitely. One thing that we do is called sensory deprivation, and I think I probably talked about this before last time. And I just find it so interesting, because what you do is that of course, you wear earbuds. You take out your hearing and your sight. So you blindfold yourself. You listen to white noise. It's the best thing to do, and anyone can do this. Everyone has some sort of slightly psychic ability, and
Right.
what sensory deprivation does, so you take away your hearing and you take away your sight, so all you have left is for the energies to speak through you. And I absolutely love that, because if you're somewhere that's well known haunted, and you know that the spirits and ghosts like to talk, they will come through you, and all you have to do is listen through that white noise, and they will talk to you. And they sometimes we there was 4 of us at one point where we all 4 went under, and all the spirits were just having a conversation through
Oh,
all
wow.
4 of them. And of course, we can't hear each other until we went back and watched the
Yeah.
videos, and it's just like, what is happening? They're just having a big old conversation with each other, trying to get us to understand what we're dealing with right now. So like that's one of my favorite things to do as a paranormal investigator is to do those sensory depth, because you can also do it with like a voice box. So if you have someone on a voice box and doing the white noise, it's even more concentrated and more, you get more answers. And like I remember the first time I did it, I said the word popcorn, and I'm like, and even in my own mind, I'm like, why did I even say that? But it correlated to the question that our moderator on the outside was asking. And you just have no idea. You just randomly will say words and sentences and see pictures. Sometimes they'll show you pictures as well through the white noise. I know that's kind of hard to explain, seeing a picture through hearing white noise, but that happens. But yeah, it's just a huge experience that it's just so amazing. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, I have never experienced that, but I could just imagine going through that and what it would be like to actually not kind of like be able to see it, but mostly hear it, and
Mhm.
then your mind kind of goes from that, and you start thinking, well, is it this? Is it that? And how sometimes your mind can really go um, wander and everything. So I feel like I would need somebody like you to maybe pull me back, in case I start freaking out. Are you still there? I think you froze on me. Yep, I definitely think you froze. Um, so we can give it a minute. But I like to thank those who are tuning in right now for watching Dan-A-Plooza. Sorry about that. He must have froze up on me. It seems like that happened. And sometimes that does happen here in the stream yard. Sometimes people just freeze up, and then, that's just the way it goes. But we want to thank him, Cole Kane Phoenix, for being on here. He was a great guest, and thank him for taking the time out of his day to be on the show. Make sure to follow Ignite Entertainment Variety Show. Make sure to follow Quantum Quaternary, and make sure to follow all the social media links. Stay tuned for Dan-A-Plooza. Our last guest is Tatas for now, and she'll be on at 4. Have a good afternoon. Take care.